Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today, guys. It is a big one. Trump is exposing them all, and we've got some bombshell breaking news for you today. We officially have new investigations that have been started by the DOJ into multiple mayors and governors all across the United States, with one big one, Mayor Wu, the mayor over Boston, who said, "We will not cooperate with ICE." Well, guess what? The DOJ is now going after you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because it's about dang time. We have to go after these corrupt mayors and governors that are harboring and protecting illegal migrants. And not only that, new emails have been obtained by the New York Post that reveal that Biden didn't even review the list of clemency recipients that his auto pen signed. Trump said that the pardons are voided and trash. We have emails from Biden's staff to prove it. Biden wasn't involved with all of his pardons. I'm telling you guys, so much is coming out, and take a seat, because what I'm about to tell you next is probably going to make you really upset, but I'm telling you, we're bringing you a big show today. The Trump DOJ has officially found that the Biden administration weaponized the full weight of the federal government against Christians. They tried to impose record-breaking fines on large Christian universities to the tune of tens of millions of dollars, along with going after school boards that were removing books based on religious objections. Per Fox News, guys, I'm telling you, the weaponization, the lawfare, it is done with. We are exposing them all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because again, too, when you know what's happening and you see it and yet they gaslight you and say it's not happening, we are exposing them all. The Trump administration also has found that over 22,000 missing migrant children who were allowed to be trafficked under Joe Biden were given to people with no vetting whatsoever. Guys, this breaks my heart. You know that on this channel, almost every other month, we give to a children's home. And when you have 22,000 children that were given to people that weren't vetted whatsoever, it's a dang shame that nobody at the dang Biden administration is going to be held accountable. But I hope they do something about it. We also have it where, don't forget it, Alligator Alcatraz. An Obama judge, Kathleen Williams, went and ruled in order that it was unlawful for the President of the United States to do this. Well, guess what? Trump is now 20-0. Yes, we are keeping count. At the appeals court and the Supreme Court level, Trump is 20-0. He is not lost. Judge Kathleen's declaration that the President of the United States could not use the Alligator Alcatraz to store illegal immigrants has now been terminated. An appeals court decided she was not in her legal rights to unilaterally close Alligator Alcatraz in South Florida. Boom, baby. That's how it's supposed to be. If we have to keep going through these dang appeals courts in the Supreme Court, it's going to take forever. And guys, I'm telling you, the big news is here today. I told you we're going to expose it all. Marjorie Taylor Greene just came out and said that since 9/11, the federal government has been taking from Social Security and spending it on foreign wars. Guys, I'm telling you, the big breaking news is today. Grab some popcorn. I got a show for you today. She gives the breakdown and shows that Social Security recipients have been cheated, and she is working with a full expose with Trump to change all this and show that people use Social Security funds to fund foreign wars since 9/11 and taken from the Social Security program. We're going to expose it all, everybody. We've got a huge show for you today. The DOJ being weaponized against Christians. We won another appeals court. DOJ investigations into Mayor Wu and other mayors. All this stuff is coming out. The RFK Jr. Fighting off the people in Congress over all the big pharma vaccines, all this stuff. We are exposing it all. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for all your support. I want to say, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button so that we can take care of you every day with the top news. And I want to say thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. Y'all are the best. Thank you for supporting us and our giving every single month. When you're a member, you give a super chat donation. We use this money, we give to a local charity live on stream on the 22nd of every single month. And this month, it's going to be to a local children's home. So I want to give some special love to Angela Broom. Show Angela some love in the chat, as well as Chris Prez for already gifting 20 TrueLife News memberships. Growing the family. Show Chris, OG of the channel, some love in the chat, everybody. Big, big things are happening. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Trump derangement syndrome is off the charts. We're exposing everybody. They're losing it right now, and it's about dang time. We are showing that no matter what, we got the dream team to show everybody the truth. Listen to this.
Take a walk with me down memory lane. The 60s. Kennedy was president. Blue jeans were in. A burger from McDonald's was 50 cents. Wash it down with a large Coke and a cigarette. The beaches were busting with hard bodies. And 70% of kids could pass the presidential fitness test. Push-ups, sit-ups, 50-yard dashes, you name it, we passed. Only 11% of the country had chronic disease. Today, people can't even squeeze into their blue jeans. 8 out of 10 kids aren't fit enough for the military. 3 out of 4 Americans have a chronic disease. And beaches look bad. We're sicker, fatter, and the most mentally ill we've ever been. The experts tell us to pop pills, eat lean cuisine, and stick Ozempic into our thighs. So what really happened? That's what RFK wants to know. And for some reason, politicians in the media don't want to know. They especially don't want you to know. RFK went under the bright lights today, and his walk-in says it all.
What do you say to the Americans concerned about your vaccine policies?
Mr. Secretary, where's you?
Look at the security, guys.
The reporters want him fired, and his supporters want everyone at the CDC fired.
Boom.
We are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you,
And I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
This guy was hired to clean house, and that's what he's been doing. He fired the CDC director and everyone on the vaccine advisory board. And he's putting in his own people, unbiased scientists who follow the facts, not industry insiders who just rubber stamp products for profit.
I'm telling you, everybody, that this is why you're about to see a mass firings like nobody's business at the CDC, under the Health and Human Services, and even this that was just exposed today, everybody. The DOJ, Trump DOJ, has officially found that the Biden administration weaponized the full weight of the federal government against Christians. They tried to impose record-breaking fines on large Christian universities at the tune of tens of millions of dollars, along with going after school boards, per Fox, everybody. Here is the weaponization of policies targeting Christian higher education. So when we talk about firing, cleaning house, draining the swamp, putting in the newest and most America First policy people, this is what it's all about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is what we voted for. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you, there's so much news that has dropped today. It is massive.
These senators wagged their fingers at a tan and Jack Bobby Kennedy Jr., and it didn't go too well.
I hope that you will tell the American people how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense.
Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%.
Boom.
And you said nothing.
Ooh.
You never asked the question why it's happening.
No one asked. These are the same people who say they're pro-science. They're double masked, face shielded, shut down schools, and conducted sex changes on kids. These people said Biden was healthy. Biden. We're not listening to them anymore. What's in our food? Why can't kids run a mile without collapsing? Why are doctors prescribing pills instead of diets? What's all the screen time doing to our brains? Why does a baby get 18 shots before they're 18 months old? It used to be 8. Now it's 18. Why does a kid have 76 shots before they're old enough to vote? We never used to get that many, but the CDC recommends this. And the people at the CDC recommending it are at the CDC because the vaccine industry put them there.
Ooh.
Maybe 76 is the right amount. Maybe it could be a little less or a lot less. We don't know. RFK is just trying to get a fresh set of eyes on it and look at the data. And senators are blindly defending vaccine companies like it's their job. And maybe it is.
Ooh.
Scientists who said they wanted to brief you on the science, scientists who wanted to understand why the FDA, why you unilaterally changed the parameters for giving vaccines.
This is crazy talk. You're just making stuff up.
So why behind closed doors?
It's not behind closed doors. The industry makes the studies, and they could not provide a study that said that it is effective for healthy kids.
So did it behind closed doors?
No, the data is all public.
Now parents who decide that they do want their children to have
You're just
COVID
making
vaccine
stuff up, Senator.
Kennedy knows more about this.
And I want to tell you this, guys. I'm telling you, the stuff that's coming out today, it's Trump. The Trump train has not stopped with smacking down everybody with new investigations, with exposing the corruption. Because remember, the speech and debate immunity clause in Congress, those senators and those congressional people can say whatever they want and never be held accountable. They can lie to our faces, they can say whatever they want, and they never will be held accountable because there literally is a law in Congress that allows them to do that. Now, you tell me what's more corrupt than that. But I want you to see this because all this stuff is big. DOJ, Department of Justice, sues Mayor Wu over immigration policies. Boston among the worst sanctuary offenders. It is about dang time. I want to see somebody in cuffs. Put it in the chat, guys, because I'm telling you, the one thing that Trump is doing and showing everybody across the entire United States is that there is people that are willing to harbor and protect and give all your hard-earned money to illegals that have never paid into the system, instead of saying, you know what? We're America first. We care about other people, but we've got enough problems under our roof that we need to deal with first. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much, Jogo, for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Show Jogo some love in the chat, as well as Danny, member of the channel. Thank you so much, Danny. And thank you so much, Jogo, said RFK is the solution, not the problem. Dems just want us to never question anything. They want us to be mindless people that just do as we're told. That's not the American way. Y'all show Jogo some love in the chat, and don't forget to show Chris Prez some love in the chat for gifting 20 TrueLife News memberships. I am so happy to be seeing all this stuff, and I'll be even more happier whenever we put some butts in jail, because they have 100% broken the law to harbor illegals, yet they never did a dang thing or worked this hard for Americans themselves.
Stuff than any of these senators. This was the Senate Finance Committee, not even the Health Committee. And they never even wanted to hear what he had to say because they didn't want the audience to hear anything different than what the industry tells them.
Let me explain why, Senator, you just
No,
wanted...
actually, I want you to listen to me. You went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no evidence of a connection.
Let me tell you this. When the antidepressants say you may have suicidal thoughts or you may have thoughts of harming others, I think there may be a correlation. Like, common sense says that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, these senators, you can tell, like, they are getting paid, or they are being, like, they are, like, fighting for the big pharma like nobody's business.
And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up. I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are.
Secretary
you are being
Kennedy,
dishonest right now. You don't want to talk. You want to harangue, and you want to politically. You want to have partisan politics. I want to actually solve these problems.
Kennedy's a key part of the Trump coalition. Maha moms and dads, Democrats, college students. MAHA is the most bipartisan part of the Trump agenda. There's a reason polls have Bobby as the most popular member of the cabinet.
Boom.
The country knows it's sick and wants to fix it. The senators deny we're sick and defend a corrupt system that keeps their campaigns funded. We're the sickest country in the civilized world, and Bobby's been in D.C. for, what, 7 months? And he's already being accused of murder.
Clearly, you have an agenda.
Wow.
It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr.
Senator, we're the
Menardez.
sickest people in the world.
Sir, I'm not.
We're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
The only person they hate more than Kennedy is Hegseth, because both of these guys aren't afraid of him. This was a naked attempt to brutalize the secretary and create political problems for Trump. They even blamed him for mass shootings.
The gunman expressed discontent with the COVID vaccine and, quote, wanted to make the public aware of his distrust of the vaccine.
Every member of this panel has criticized President Trump
I
and
only have
demonized
three.
him.
Have you ever
Are
been
you
briefed?
complicit in the assassination attempts on President Trump?
Every time they mounted an attack,
Dang.
Kennedy exposed them.
I was getting jerked around by your bureaucracy. I'd like it to end and get some progress.
Yeah, you know, Senator, you raised this during my confirmation hearing, but I said to you at that time, call me and let's come talk about this. You have my cell phone. You can call me anytime. I've never heard from you in 7 months.
That's all you need to know. It's all an act. They don't want to make America healthy again. They won't even pick up the phone. Months go by, Americans get sicker and sicker. Politicians wait for a hearing and then just scream at Kennedy and then go to the bar and get handed a check from Big Pharma. Bobby's phone's always on. Democrats used to call him, but then he joined Trump and now they call him a crackpot.
Yep, and I'm telling you, this is why it's so important, everybody. Check this out. This is big. I told you we're bringing you all the breaking news. Missouri House Committee on Redistricting just passed the new congressional map that will wipe away a Democratic seat in favor of Republicans in 2026. Look at the new Missouri map. This is big, guys. I'm telling you. We're going to make sure to get a red wave one way or the other. And a lot of people may not agree with this, but guess what? The Democrats have been doing it for the past 30 years. And they've been wiping, and not only that, they've used illegals within the census to get even more seats in blue districts. So whenever we go and do this, I don't really care. I want America First policies. I want Trump to have as much time and as much backing as he can have to put America first in every single facet of America. They can't stand Trump. They can't stand his team. All they want to do is try to continue to have their slush fund monies getting paid just like you're hearing them. You would think these people worked for the dang pharmaceutical companies as hard as they are fighting Bobby Kennedy. Instead of saying, you know what? Let's just look at the data. Let's just look and let's have an unbiased question. It's like, no, you're taking away all the vaccines. He's like, no, we're just removing the mandate. You can still get it. You still have the choice to get it. We're just not going to force you from the dang federal government. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you, this is going to be a big red wave coming in 2026, baby.
When Kennedy looked under the hood at what Biden left him, he discovered the CDC was destroying data that showed black boys who were getting an early measles vax had a higher chance of autism. They buried it and kept recommending the shot to kids who didn't need it. And they cut corners to get vaccines through. Safety studies for hepatitis vaccines lasted just 4 days. 76 million kids got the shot, even though you had a 1 in 7 million chance of dying from it.
All the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety.
What I said was accurate. What you said were lies.
Are
The
you
chairs
saying
on the
that a
Titanic-
mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
Ooh, I'm telling you, everybody, we are exposing them all right now. Look at this. Trump is 20-0 against these corrupt people, y'all. Obama Judge Kathleen Williams' declaration that she's the president of the United States is terminated. An appeals court decided she was not in her legal rights to unilaterally close up Alligator Alcatraz in South Florida. Article 2 powers win, baby. That's what we're talking about. Bringing justice and letting the president do his dang job. It's all about trying to stall him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because again, we're 20-0 at the appeals court and at the Supreme Court together. Chris Prez, brother, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said after the big red wave, Trump must exile the traitors. If you're not America first, get your butt out of here. Show Chris Prez some love in the chat and show Jogo some love in the chat for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Jogo, we appreciate you so much for helping us grow our family. I love it. This is such big news. Again, we're backing Trump's cabinet. We're backing the America First policies. And again, India just made a huge sign to the United States that even Trump said that we've lost Russia and India to China. And all this stuff that's about to come into place, listen to this.
What you're seeing this on Capitol Hill right now play out in real time. The great powers of the oligarchs that run healthcare in this country, big pharma, big medical, the big insurance companies. This is the finance committee. I'll keep that in mind. This is the finance committee. They really have the overall. That was the first committee that Bobby Kennedy went to for his in his confirmation hearing. Remember, we played the confirmation hearings. Just harken back to that because they're going to throw that up in his face every day about how he changed these committees. And Dr. Malone, runs this, was it ASIP right now? And they said, oh, you promised you wouldn't change it. And you've changed it and gotten all the hacks off it and put other people on it. And firing a CDC. Bobby Kennedy came out at the beginning breathing fire. And what he said, hey, America, the stats are off the charts. We've been getting sicker every year. CDC's in charge of that. Those 4 people had to go, and he fired them, as he has the ability to do. And he fired the head of CDC also. Yeah, we're going to take this break, and then we'll come back. We're going to be going in and out of this hearing throughout the morning because we must. This is one of the many huge battles on the deconstruction of the administrative state, and to be brutally frank about it, deconstruction of the deep state. Because CDC, you have to look for those linkages. CDC is a hardwired linkage into the World Health Organization. And it's time that America took the power back. This is what President Trump gave us with the MAGA movement, to make America great again, and the merger and convergence with Nicole Shanahan and the great people that work for her about Big Ag and about getting our food right, the ultra-processed food, getting it, ending that and getting people to eat healthy again. And she said that the solution with this is in the soil, coupled with Bobby Kennedy and what they've been fighting for. We had Mary Holland on last night. She's in the audience right now. And as I'm teasing her, I said, I told you it was going to be an inquisition. These Democrats are going to be off the chain today, coming at Bobby Kennedy. Now, we're going to put in some other people. I've got Aviva Fry is going to be with us. Jan from Epoch Times. Jan's got a great piece about the buried lead of this. I gave a little talk today over at Heritage. The buried lead of this is the most important thing that she and Putin talked about was, wait for it, them living to 150 years old on freshly warm organs taken from living human beings. Oh, by the way, on the path to immortality. If you heard that sidebar conversation, Aviva Fry is going to be here. Aviva was, I would say, less than impressed by the event yesterday, and that's why I wanted to show you entirely, with no editorial comment, that you guys can start to get this information and start to make your own decisions about where this Epstein thing's going. I don't think the discharge petition is is going to make it. I'm not sure they get any more Republicans. President Trump said, "Hey, if you vote for that, it's a hostile act." Mike Johnson, the speaker, they've got oversight looking at this. They're going to release documents, so we'll try to get all that sorted out.
And I'm telling you, y'all, we're about to see a big fight. Like, we're fighting over here in the United States. But look what Trump has just posted. Trump says, look at this right here. Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together, President Donald J. Trump. Like, things, we are fighting. Let me tell you this. I don't even want to hear it whenever Trump made the comment and said we're fighting the enemy from within, because this stuff has happened. Dan Bongino announced that a State Department employee was just sentenced to 48 months in prison for attempting to sell out his country to China. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino announced. Bongino said no amount of money is worth betraying your country, and the FBI will do everything in our power to bring traitors like Sheena to justice. There's enemies within. There is people that want America to die. There is people that want America to fall. That's why, again, the Biden administration knew that they had to get as many illegals in as possible, to redo the census, to get as many congressional seats as possible. Because why? Congress controls the purse. They can make sure that people were getting paid. Because if they may not have won 2024 or 2026, but what if they win 2028? Congress will pass more bills, giving more money. They'll have more seats to give to foreign slush fund money, USAID, all this stuff, using your hard-earned taxpayer dollars. And guess what? Nobody wants to pull back spending. Nobody wants to cut anything, and it's all on Americans' dime. B1 Sly One, thank you so much for for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Growing the family. B1 Sly One, OG of the channel. Also a help with moderating show. B1 Sly One, some love in the chat. As well as Henny Showman. Show Henny some love in the chat, everybody. Let's go. Today's a big news days. We are dropping a lot of things, guys. This is big. Listen to this.
With Viva Fry, and we will return to Bobby Kennedy as he throws another. The good thing about Bobby, and it's one of the reasons I think President Trump likes him so much, he's a fighter. I mean, he's not going to back off. You saw him one right after Wyden, as he should. It was inappropriate the way, but they're trying to remove Bobby Kennedy. That's what this is about. They're trying to make the case. At the very beginning, they said, put him under oath. We want to get him for perjuring himself because he's a liar. He lied to us in the confirmation hearing. We want to get on him. And, of course, they dismissed that right away. But that's the hardball they're playing. And the good thing about Bobby Kennedy, he's not going to back down 1 inch. He's not a guy. He's a fighter. You can say a lot of things about Bobby Kennedy. One thing, he can give a punch as good as he can take one. So he doesn't have a glass jaw. This guy's a fighter. I want to thank Birch Gold. We told you, gold is on a tear. Every day I don't sit there and say, you got to buy gold because the price. No, you need.
Sorry, guys.
Yesterday, Steve, is the data chaos. They kept trying to box him in of like, was the shot a miracle? Did it save millions of lives? And he said, I don't know if it saved millions of lives. The CDC was so corrupted and so thoroughly incompetent during COVID, giving irrational advice on the masks, on the lockdowns, on the distancing. I don't know how many people died from the shot. I don't know how many people died from COVID. They had people dying with COVID, people dying from COVID. It was intentionally mixed up. So he kept saying, look, you're looking for a religious answer that I believe. And he said, I can't give you that. I don't have the adequate science. I'm working on it like crazy. And I think that's frustrating to people. But they also tried to skewer him. But you cut back on the money for mRNA. You cut back on the recommendations for kids and for other groups for the mRNA. And he said, look, there's no science to support it. Back in 2021, you could argue 2020, it was different. It's now 2025. It's a different virus. It's mutated. It's not as virulent. Like, I don't have science to back up continuing these boosters. And you know, I don't think there's been an adequate reckoning yet of how harmful these injections were. I think that's starting to come. They've set up a working group within the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, chaired by Retsef Levy, that is going to look specifically at the COVID-19 shots. I think that's absolutely critical, and it has a lot of implications for this mRNA platform overall. Well, we definitely need to show support for Secretary Kennedy. So it was a failed effort by the Democrats on that Senate Finance Committee to get Kennedy to resign. They had all signed a letter yesterday morning to ask him to resign, and I'm delighted that Trump is really standing behind him. But you know, it was pathetic. I was in the room yesterday. It just showcased the dysfunction in government. Those people were really showboating. As Kennedy did call them out, he really was magnificent and courageous to be there. It cannot be pleasant to have people basically hurling insults at you continuously for almost 3 hours. As Senator Ron Johnson, definitely a hero to the MAHA movement, said, it was abuse. Kennedy was literally sitting through this abuse. And what was also horrible, Steve, is to realize that so many of these people are really in the dark. They seem to have no concept of the harms that the COVID shots have done. They seem clueless. They were worried about pharmacies giving access to people for their 6-month-olds. And what we know is that those shots shouldn't be in any child's arm. Most countries in the world have stopped them being available to children at all. But Kennedy is making them available, but just not recommending them anymore. But he was skewered, but I think he held his own, and that was great to see.
Hang on. I'm going to hold you through the break. I wanted to say a couple of things about that. I haven't seen this about the messaging. And it comes out of HHS, too, out of Bobby's shop. I haven't seen any overwhelming. Your message right there is a message I have out, but maybe I missed it. I haven't seen any overwhelming, and that Bobby Kennedy ain't going anywhere. He's our guy.
He's not. He is 100% a true MAHA person. If you appreciate Bobby, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I love it. RFK is like a lion. I love that. Angel Mist. This is 100%. We need more people like this. And I wanted to show you this because remember, the Democrats said this wasn't happening. They said this is not happening. Americans aren't losing jobs to illegals. Let me tell you this. What you're about to hear is so bombshell. This is the largest raid that has taken place in America thus far, and it's a big one, and it has just thrown everybody into a huge fit. Listen to this.
We're following a massive ICE raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Officials say roughly
Hyundai plant in Georgia.
450 undocumented migrants were apprehended. Now, Thursday's raid was
450 undocumented migrants. And I just want to let you know, I looked into this. The average salary paid to these Hyundai people is $46,000. Remember, when you think about 450 illegal migrants, you got to think about that's 450 homes that they are taking up instead of Americans. That's 450 jobs that they're taking up instead of Americans. So I don't want to hear it when they say that, oh, there's enough for everybody. No, Hyundai gives good jobs, and look what we have found out.
Carried out by multiple state and federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, the FBI, and the Georgia State Patrol. I want to bring in CNN's Isabel Rosales, who's been monitoring this. So, Isabel, what is the latest this morning?
Omar, good morning. With more than 450 people apprehended, this marks what appears to be one of the largest ICE raids at a single site in the 22-year history of this agency. Now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta plant site. This is in Ella Bell, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site, giving out orders while officers raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as...
I'm telling you, y'all, I mean, if we aren't exposing everybody right now, this is big. And what I love is that it's just the beginning. Because now that the DOJ is suing Mayor Wu over immigration policies, saying Boston is among the worst sanctuary city offenders, everybody's going to be held accountable. Everybody's going to be exposed. Jogo, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said it is amazing how bad of our state our country is in due to the Dems. I'm worried if it is possible to fix it all. I do have faith in Trump's cabinet, though. Keep fighting. MAGA, baby. Y'all show Jogo some love in the chat. America first. We love it. Don't forget to show Jogo and Chris Press some love in the chat for gifting 20 True Life News memberships apiece. And what I love is we're about to hear our boy, John Kennedy, go over what we really care about. Because I'm telling you, if this doesn't stop, we're always going to be in a bad spot in America when it comes to our finances and the spending. Listen to this.
Senator Kennedy.
Dr. Myron, do presidents, any president, generally appoint their enemies?
Thank you, Senator, for the question.
Don't thank me. It just takes up time.
I believe that when they nominate them,
do they generally appoint their enemies?
They don't believe they are when they're when they're making.
Do presidents, any president, generally appoint people that they agree with on social and economic policy?
I believe that presidents appoint people whose
That's a yes, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we live in the real world, don't we?
Yes.
Are you personally responsible for everything President Trump says?
No, my role as the chairman of the...
Before President Trump says something as President of the United States, does he call you up and say, Stephen, I'm about to say this and I want your approval? Does he do that?
Never.
And after the president says something, does he call you up and say, Stephen, was that okay? Are you okay with this?
Nope, I have an advisory role.
Okay. Now, sometimes intelligent adults, reasonable people disagree. Is that true?
Very often.
Is it part of your job description when you disagree with something the president says to call a press conference and say, he's wrong about this and let me explain to you why? Is that part of your job description?
Not as CH.
Is that part of the job description of any aide that you know of to President Biden?
No.
How about for President Obama?
No.
How about for President Clinton?
No.
We don't live in La La Land, do we? Do we?
No.
Now, monetary policy is important, and the Fed is in charge of it. But monetary policy is not the only thing that's important. Fiscal policy is important, isn't it?
Fiscal policy is extremely important.
And I don't care how low the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
If the United States Congress is profligate in its spending, if it spends money like it's pond water, if it runs up $37 trillion in debt, and deficit spends to the tune of 7% every year, that also has an impact on employment and economic growth and inflation, does it not?
Absolutely, and I think people often make a mistake by looking solely at monetary policy when fiscal policy is a huge driver.
And in fact,
if y'all appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you what he's about to get into next, it's all about the money. when you look, I wanted to show you this from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Check this out. She said the argument of which drives the national debt more, Social Security or U.S. spending on Israel, foreign countries, foreign wars, is fundamentally America first versus America last. She says the reality is Americans have been chained in over $37 trillion in debt, and Americans deserve their Social Security money that we're forced to pay. This right here is the chart over how much has been spent since 9/11 on foreign wars. Look at this, $8 trillion. This is all from Marjorie Taylor Greene, congressional woman of the House of Representatives. She goes in to show, because this was piggybacking over the amount of money that's spent on Social Security, 1.5 to 1.6 trillion. And so when we look at where is the money going, instead of defending continued funding of Israel over America's own rights to Social Security, is Israel first and America last? I'm telling you, all this stuff is being exposed today. This is big because this is coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene, huge MAGA, huge America first, who says we want to make sure that our seniors are taken care of, make sure that we stop spending money on other countries and give it back to Americans. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Talmadge Codes, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Talmadge some love in the chat, member of the channel. We appreciate you so much.
The Federal Reserve can lower short-term rates through the Open Market Committee all you want. But that doesn't necessarily mean that long rates, 10 years and above, are going to go down, does it?
Not necessarily.
Right, because if the bond market counts too, doesn't it?
Of course.
If the bond, you can lower rates as low as you want to, but if the bond market thinks that inflation is on the horizon, those rates are going to keep going up or at least stay steady. Isn't that accurate?
Yes, the Federal Reserve does not control the long end of the yield curve.
Okay, so what Congress does matters, doesn't it?
Hugely.
My good friend Senator Warren says, you're Donald Trump's puppet. Are you Donald Trump's puppet?
Not at all. I'm very independently minded, as shown by my willingness to stray from consensus and have out of consensus views. And I believe that, I will continue to be as independent, in my thinking process, if confirmed.
We're going to hold you to that, Governor, future Governor. You need to call them like you see them. There's nothing wrong with politicians in Washington offering their opinions. You can't stop them. But we need a monetary plan that was put together by something other than vodka and darts.
Ooh.
And that's what we had the Federal Reserve for. Now, you're going to get a lot of advice from politicians. I'm not saying they're always wrong. Even a blind chicken finds a mealworm now and then. But you've got to call them like you see them. And ignore, nothing wrong with people giving their advice, but ignore all the rhetoric from all politicians. Will you give me that commitment?
I do commit to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
What
Chairman.
a G. I tell you what, I love John Kennedy. I wish he was majority leader instead of Thune. Look at this. President Trump is about to sign his 200th executive order to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War. It will be the most executive orders in 228 days than the past 16 presidents combined per WA Times, a record pace. We want to show strength. We want to make sure that we show that we're not playing around in everything that's happening. Everything that we're looking into, all the money that's about to be spent and all the money in the next big bill, because this month is it, y'all. We either are going to pass a fiscally sound budget or we're going to pass another stupid continuing resolution of all the spending we've been doing, continuing to put us into a deficit and more trillions of dollars in debt. Listen to this.
The president nominated me because I have policy views that I suppose that he liked. If I'm confirmed to this role, I will act independently, as the Federal Reserve always does, based on my own personal analysis of economic data, my own personal analysis of the effects of economic policies upon the economy, and act based on my judgment of the best economic policy possible.
The future of the Federal Reserve, the president looking to overhaul Washington's establishment, monetary establishment.
Hey, if this isn't draining the deep swamp little by little, we just have to make it happen.
And his first major appointment, getting his day in front of the Senate Banking Committee. Welcome to the Big Money Show. Stephen Myron, President Trump's pick for the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, pledging central bank independence at his Senate confirmation hearing. And Myron is calling for interest rate cuts. Now joining a chorus who say the Fed risks choking the economy to recession if it waits any longer. But looming over all of this, the drama around Lisa Cook. She's still on the board, although President Trump has fired her, but she is fighting to keep her seat. Now, the Department of Justice has begun issuing subpoenas and opened a criminal investigation. As Larry Kudlow put it on this show yesterday, Cook is already cooked.
When the jobs report comes out on Friday, let's hope the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, subtracts one government job, namely the former Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook. She was fired by her boss, President Donald J. Trump, even though, for some reason, she refuses to accept this.
Investors also watching closely because who sits at that Fed table when it meets less than 2 weeks from now determines whether interest rates fall in time to keep growth humming and whether politics will stall the economy's next big chapter. James, to you first on this. Quite frankly, if the government wanted lower interest rates, all they'd have to do is just spend less and reduce bonds.
Let me tell you this. I ain't ever heard of it. This is only in the dang government, y'all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I want to just have a good laugh about this. Only in the dang government can you get fired by your boss and still not leave. You still work and say that, oh no, I'm going to work because I was fired incorrectly, and that's not right. Only in the federal government. This is like such a joke. It makes us look like a joke to the rest of the country. Whenever Trump can't even fire his own people. And again, I'm telling you, they had today, ex-Biden aide Andrew Bates arrived for a closed-door grilling in the House auto pen probe, and he pleaded the fifth. He wouldn't even say that was Biden actually in charge, and he kept pleading the fifth. I'm telling you, Trump is just, because again, too, he knows optics matter. So when it comes to the rest of the world, the dang Democrats are making us look like a joke because we will consistently put other countries before our own dang country.
Issuance. So I'm very concerned about this fixation on our central bank because it's really the central bank over the years that's gotten us into all these problems, juicing the economy and then bailing people out when the shinola hits the fan.
That is exactly right, Dagan. There is not a problem the Federal Reserve has actually preemptively, proactively solved in the American economy. They caused the housing bubble. They missed the boat on Wells Fargo. They fell asleep at the wheel on Silicon Valley Bank. Now Lisa Cook, who's been credibly accused of mortgage fraud, wants us all to believe she can stay in a seat, Dagan, to stop mortgage fraud. Bill Pulte has said this time and again. This type of mortgage fraud undermines mortgage origination. We call it at Azoria the Lisa Cook tax. We did the math on this, Dagan. Because of the owner occupancy fraud that Lisa Cook committed, If you were to eliminate all of that in the entire housing market, you would actually lower mortgage rates by 14 basis points. That might not sound like a lot, but that's $17,000 over the life of a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. So to your point, I think the Federal Reserve gets far too much credit on the way up and far too little accountability on the way down. I wish we could stop talking about it, but I'm glad that the president has removed her. And make no mistake, she is fired. Larry is right.
She's fired,
still
baby.
sitting there, and I'm kind of...
And I'm telling you guys, everything that's breaking news, we show you as it gets announced, okay? We don't wait. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, House Republicans are split with Trump's team over very frustrating fight as shutdown looms. Do you see this? Like, we are literally reporting this as it's coming out. Guys, look at this. September 5th, 11:56. Y'all seeing this? This is all breaking news that we are having a fight with ourselves because we cannot stop the stupid pork. We can't stop the stupid wasteful spending. We think that there's a blank check on the Republican side and they constantly will not be held accountable. And now we're exposing it all. Look at, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Look, House Republicans on the Appropriations Committee are at odds with Trump's administration and conservatives over how long a stopgap spending bill should last, with just a few weeks left to avert a government shutdown. Wow, so instead of taking a stupid recess in the month of August, maybe your butt should have been trying to figure out how to fund the dang government, and then instead of waiting to the last moment and trying to make a deal and then just give the Democrats whatever they want so they will pass a budget or a continuing resolution. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I get sick and tired of seeing our hard-earned money being wasted on things like this. It is just mind-blowing that all these people, Russ Vaught, Director of Office and Management and Budget, comes out and everybody's like, oh, we can't stop spending. Oh, we've got to keep going. Oh my goodness, we have to. And what can Trump do? He's not in charge of Congress. Redeem Patriot, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said Trump uses Drano, he cleans out the crap. Let's go. Show Redeem Patriot some love in the chat. It is just criminal, guys, what we are seeing right now in Congress.
Waiting to see if she's at the meeting next week. We don't have a clip of it. I know that Elizabeth Warren sits on the committee that is interrogating RFK Jr. today. I think she's questioning him right now. But she also sits on the banking committee. And it's high comedy that EWASI went after Vice Chair Richard Clarida and also Kaplan and Rosengren about the trading, and essentially certainly forced Clarida to resign. And then where is she on this Lisa Cook issue? Anyone? Jump ball.
Well, she's on the side of the partisan Lisa Cook, because the partisan Lisa Cook is who she likes to have on the independent Fed. She cares about an independent Fed as long as it's independent from anybody who thinks in a free market conservative way, potentially. The wheels of justice are turning for Cook, and I think that should happen. You got the criminal referral. I think she ought to have due process, and she's going to get it, and hopefully very quickly. And she will, if these claims are credible, then I think she'll be moved along and the president will have the cause that everyone debates. But I love how the Stephen Myron thing, all the critics of the president say, well, Stephen Myron, he's just there to turn the Fed into a tool of the president. And Stephen Myron, I think, he's already gone up there and he's basically said, I'm here to be exactly what I ought to be, an independent voice on this panel, and I'm going to look at economic data, and I'm going to make decisions based on that. And, that diffuses all of the criticism. I think he's in favor of lower interest rates. Lots of smart people are, and they have good reason for it. So the Fed, to me, right now, and this is why markets don't care, it's much ado about nothing when it comes to all the critics who say the Trump administration is ruining the Fed. No, they're not. In fact, they might actually make it better and make it operate more like the Fed is supposed to operate.
That's what we want. Because again, the cleanup is happening. If the anti-Americans are not exposing themselves, I don't know what is. Look at this right here. A judge has blocked South Carolina from allowing Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon to cleanse the state voter rolls of illegal aliens. Millions of voter data are now being withheld from the DOJ, but Harmeet Dillon vows the rolls will be cleaned. She said, I will allow nothing to stand in the way of our mandate to maintain clean voter rolls. How in the world can a judge keep us from making sure that only American citizens are on our voter rolls? That's how you know it's corrupt. Guys, all this stuff that's breaking today, we want to make sure that, again, wherever you may live, we have people that watch our channel all across the United States. That if this stuff is happening in your state, if we know that this corruption has happened, we let our congressional leaders know. We are fed up with this stuff. We are fed up with continuing to see Americans be put last, and then all of a sudden, we have to just accept it. You have to shut up. You have to accept it. There's nothing you can do about it, and I'm sick and tired of it. And that's why, again, too, when you see what RFK Jr. is doing, this is what makes me happy, because if we don't have people like this to fight for us, we'll always be controlled by the people that think they're better than us in Congress. Listen to this.
It's a Maha meltdown. RFK Jr. defending his vaccine policies against Democrats on Capitol Hill, furious over his ousting of the CDC director. Jr. says it's time for new blood at the health agency after they failed Americans during COVID.
CDC failed that responsibility miserably during COVID, when its disastrous and nonsensical policies destroyed small businesses, violated civil liberties, closed our schools, caused generational damage in doing so, masked infants with no science, and heightened economic inequality. And yet all those oppressive and unscientific interventions failed to do anything about the disease itself.
And from there, the Dems came unglued.
You're so wrong on your facts.
You're interrupting me. And sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are. You're the ones who conflate chronic disease with the need for vaccines.
Because you are citing data that you won't produce to the public.
You're just
and you are rejecting
You're
science.
making things up to scare people, and it's a lie.
Mr. Chairman, the Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant?
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
On behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time.
Wow.
What did you learn? I'm sure you learned a lot about health.
As I was saying in the green room, they all lost me today. And to the point that I pulled out my IFB. I couldn't even listen to it anymore. I was extremely frustrated. I think these issues are very important. It affects everybody. And I think sort of like the debate when you have 10 people on stage and the format that we have and the time that you have, I think that's a broken system. I think these hearings are totally broken. If the goal is to get information and to have a free flow exchange of ideas and information, because that is not what's going on here.
Then what do you think the goal is?
And Republicans and Democrats both do this. The goal is to try to get a gotcha moment to where you try to figure out some way to capture this guy. But they don't ever give him really a chance to answer. And he interrupted them constantly, too. So I finally said, enough. One of the goals is to get yourself on cable TV, right? So if it's MSNBC or Fox or CNN, wherever you want to be. You also want to figure out some sort of soundbite so that you can get some small dollar donations, because that's where a lot of this comes from. I think that these issues, to me, I'm not a mom, so I'm looking at this from a spectrum of Maha, right? I like a lot of the nutrition stuff. I've covered the food pyramid stuff since the mid-90s when I first worked on Capitol Hill. I understand all of that's broken. But I'm not I can talk about a lot of things. I am not an expert in public health at all. I have to outsource that. You know, and I don't want to ever try to be, I don't want to be a Google doctor, but the other night, Kennedy, I was actually texting her about where does she go for a doctor? Because I'm like, what about this and what about that? And if you're over 50 and they're women, then there's all this all the guidance is different. Everything's different. So now that's all true for children as well. So it's complex and it's complicated. And all these people did was yell over each other to the point that I couldn't understand or hear anything. They completely lost me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, everybody, because I told you we bring you the facts, we bring you the receipts. Robert Kennedy Jr.'s job performance approval 52%. That's pretty dang good. Disapprove 33%, no opinion 15%. This is from Insider Advantage over July and August. I think RFK is one of the most likable people ever because, again, he was a Democrat who's literally said, for the greater good of the country, I will join Trump and we will clean out America's health epidemic and we will put forth America first, even when it comes to our kids. Like, how hard is that to ask? If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. It is just mind-blowing to see all this transpire where people yell, and remember, they're protected under the immunity clause where they can say whatever they want. They can lie in Congress, and guess what? Never be held accountable. That, to me, is one of the dumbest and biggest reasons why our system is so corrupt.
You know, I feel your pain.
Thank you.
Yes. I can give you a recommendation. I can give you a recommendation for VIEW doctors.
Great.
They practice out of a van, though, Jesse. You know, you look at these politicians that are grilling RFK Jr., they don't look like they're in excellent health.
No, Wyden looks terrible.
Yeah.
And he's probably the best looking one out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, these people oversaw an obesity epidemic, a birth rate plummeting, testosterone plummeting, autism skyrocketing, and they did nothing about it. And then they get on TV and they act like this guy is the bad guy. This guy was hired to clean house. If he came in and didn't fire anybody from these agencies, he should be fired.
100%.
That's what this whole agenda is about. You take these people who industry puts there, they rubber stamp everything from food additives to vaccines so it's profitable for the industry, and then they destroy any evidence that a study has. He came out and said they were destroying evidence of a study that showed black kids were getting side effects from a shot they didn't need, and the Democrat senators didn't even care. They accused him of killing people. And it's sick because they're saying he's anti-science. All he's saying is we're going to put in some unbiased scientists. They're going to look at the facts. And if it's still okay to have these shots at a young age, and if it's still okay for some of these drugs to be prescribed, that's fine. We just want to look at the underlying data. And that's not controversial. In fact, that's the scientific method. And the people that are saying this guy's anti-science were double masking. They were face shielding. They were shutting down beaches and parks and schools. And they actually think Joe Biden's healthy. And they think you can power the world economy with windmills, Greg, with windmills. Talk about anti-science. So I'm glad he went up there and battled these people. This is a big battle. He is the most popular member of the cabinet, and Maha is the most bipartisan, popular piece of this agenda. I think we can all agree, if we've been to the beach recently, that we don't look so good. And it's not a coincidence that we stopped looking good after we added all this stuff to the food, upped all the shots, stuck our faces in the screens all day. All of a sudden, we're popping pills and we all look horrible, and we're spending $1 trillion a year to make ourselves healthier, and we're getting sicker. We're the fattest, sickest, and most mentally ill we've ever been. And this guy's the one guy that was sent in like a heat-seeking missile to blow the place up. Good. I say blow it up. And if you're against it, then you want America to stay sick.
Wow. Jesse.
Let me tell you this. How crazy is it that you have literally one guy who's like, I don't think that all this data, it doesn't make any sense. Some of this stuff is extremely difficult when it comes to actually interpreting the data. We need to dig more into this. Like, we need to figure out where autism is coming from. Because in the 1990s, if it was 1 in 30,000, and then now it's 1 in 31 with boys, Probably something's wrong that we're doing, and we need to look at that. But everybody's like, no, don't look at it. You're evil. You only know you're about to hit somebody's money whenever they start fighting you as hard as they're fighting him right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
You know, Kennedy, they were really circling the wagons around the CDC, and he took it apart in that one clip there. But it's like, why can't CDC answer for some of the decisions they made?
Or for some of the businesses that were shuttered. Or to his point, before he testified today, he published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal showing some of the fallout from COVID, the lockdown, shuttered schools, closed businesses, arbitrary 6-foot distancing rules, and all these things. So the difference between RFK Jr. and, a lot of other cabinet secretaries is he has been passionate about this work for decades.
Yes.
And someone like Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, I think he's fantastic. I think he's had a lot of success as a governor in his state, and he knows a lot about energy, but he's not been fueled by this the way RFK Jr. has. And that's what's frustrating to a lot of the senators is he has answers for these things. And he has a team of advisors that he has been working with. And I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, but at least he makes me think about vaccines.
Yeah.
At least I have conversations with people who are having babies now, and even the schedule that they're giving kids now is vastly different than 16 years ago, the last time that I had to have these sensitive conversations with the pediatrician. I think that's the best thing we can do as a society, and have these honest discussions about how we look and what we're putting in our bodies and the solutions we're giving our children when we're failing them, when all of these institutions are failing him. So if Trump was elected to be a disruptor and to dismantle things as a limited government libertarian, I cheer that, even if I might have some fundamental issues with what he's saying. I believe in the work that he's doing.
You're right. I mean,
Let's
just
go,
aside,
baby.
we'll go to Harold. I didn't look at vaccines obviously until I had to. I knew about it, but like the Hep B vaccine, your baby has to get the Hep B vaccine. And I go, well, what are the risk factors? Well, if your mother has Hep B, and how did you get it? Well, through syringes or having sex with that. It's like, we're not in that group.
No.
We're not in that. Well, you know what? You should still get the vaccine as a community preventive thing. I go, what does that mean exactly? My kid doesn't need this. And yet they tell you that it's required or suggested. And if you say no, they make you feel guilty. I think that's it for tonight.
Let me tell you this. Whenever my twins and even my 4-year-old daughter, we had them and they tried, we got to do this. And we were like, no. We're not doing it. Why would we do the Hep B vaccine? That's to protect against STDs. And we're both good. So why are you trying to force us? I said, she barely's born. And in my mind, logically, I think, well, you probably shouldn't put foreign chemicals into a baby when they're just born and their body is rapidly developing and trying to create itself, and that something probably could happen. And the look on their faces, like I was the worst person in the world. And you know what? I could care less. Because they're not going to live with my baby. I am. They're not going to raise my baby. I am. And I'm not about to have some dang government who these people get paid. They literally get paid more money to push this stuff. Ain't happening with me. Sean Green, 2010, let's go, brother. Gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Sean, show him some love in the chat as well as the super chat. And Jogo with another 5 gifted TrueLife News memberships. Thank you so much, Jogo, for growing our TrueLife News family. We truly appreciate your support. If you got a free membership from Jogo, show him some love in the chat. We are growing this TrueLife News family. I'm telling you, this is so exciting what's going on. Those senators could say whatever they want, but guess what? Robert F. Kennedy is one of the most popular people out there. We've got new investigations into so many people. We are collecting record. Look at this. White House put out record-breaking $31 billion in tariffs. So when they're trying to stop all this, especially with what you're about to see next, it's all about trying to control people instead. And we're just going to show everything. We're going to expose it all, everybody. And this is what I love. because we have people that truly want to see America be the best that it can be. Listen to this.
Announcing a big move in the fight against human trafficking. Watch this.
Destroyed drives up their profit margins. No longer. We are investigating and prosecuting their crimes more aggressively than ever. And Joint Task Force Alpha is the tip of the spear. We have been working on that with Secretary Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. And I cannot say enough good things about Secretary Noem. I was with her in Louisiana yesterday, and she is fighting to keep our country safe every single day. Just this week, Joint Task Force Alpha took 4 major enforcement actions. Right here in Tampa, we unsealed the indictment charging 12 defendants operating right here in Tampa, a massive illegal smuggling ring. The defendants engaged in a conspiracy to bring illegal aliens from Cuba to the U.S. for profit. They coached their clients, including children, who came to airports alone, came to our country alone, were put on planes for connecting flights, lied to Border Patrol agents due to coaching and law enforcement. They charged up to $40,000 per victim.
Wow.
They used Zelle to transfer over $7 million over the course of this scheme, and I believe had profits, cash of over $18 million. And it's just not the southern border. In Vermont, and U.S. Attorney Drescher is here with us, we indicted Norma Lorenzo, a woman who allegedly worked with Canadian co-conspirators from Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and El Salvador. Children were transferred to private residences, other airports, and in 2023, according to CBP, parts of Vermont and New York started seeing unprecedented traffic from illegal aliens. Law enforcement officers operating in these areas encountered aliens from 97 different countries, including China, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, North Korea, and Yemen. In the Southern District this week of Texas, and Nick Ganji's here, we secured the extradition of 3 men from Guatemala who have been charged in connection with a mass casualty alien smuggling event. This tragic event occurred in 2021 in Chiapas, Mexico, a semi-truck containing at least 160 illegal aliens crashed, resulting in the deaths of more than 50 people. The cost of human smuggling is huge. So many families are dying. So many people are dying. These smugglers used a variety of vehicles, including microbuses, tractor trailers, and cattle trucks to smuggle multiple Guatemalan aliens, including many unaccompanied minors, into this country. In the Western District of Texas, where Justin Simmons is our U.S. attorney, we just this week charged 4 defendants with their role in a deplorable scheme smuggling unaccompanied children into the United States from Mexico. These monsters behind the operation drugged unaccompanied children coming into our country, giving them THC so they would be asleep when passing through customs.
Wow.
One of the children was overdosed so badly that the child had to go to the hospital.
This type of stuff, I'm telling you, this is why I don't really care about where the Democrats are at, because they allowed this to happen. We have people that need help. We have kids that need help. And when I hear about this stuff, it breaks my heart, y'all. And that's why we're so adamant when it comes to our giving. Every single month on the 22nd, we donate to a local charity. And we're doing, whenever you give a membership or you give a super chat, this money on the 22nd of the month, we're giving to a local children's home. We are changing lives and helping those that can't help themselves. And that's why I'm so thankful for every single one of you. If you're watching, not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News, hitting that subscribe button. I thank you so much when you share our videos, like our videos. If you haven't done so, of hitting the thumbs up like button. We really appreciate your support with that. Sharing on Facebook, sharing on X. We just want to bring the truth to everybody. I want to give some special love to those that have given today. Please show some special love to OG of the channel, Chris Prez, with 30 gifted TrueLife News memberships, y'all. Show some love to Chris, helping us grow the family. Such an amazing giver, such a blessing. We truly pray that God blesses you all who are giving. Pray and bless Joe Go with the 20 gifted TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from them, show them some love in the chat, everyone. B1 Sly One with gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Show B1 Sly One some love in the chat, as well as Sean Green with 10 TrueLife News memberships. If y'all got free membership, y'all better show them some love, y'all. Don't be holding back. This is such a blessing, giving to others, growing the family. And it's so awesome because, again, this is where my heart is at. It's giving back. It's just making a difference in those that need it the most, like the children that are orphans, that don't have anybody. They don't have moms or dads. They don't have family. And we're giving to those charities. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month. Give some special love to Pamela Stevens, Danny, Jogo, Chris Prez, Henny Showman, Hammer of Justice, Talmadge Coates. Show Talmadge some love in the chat. Redeem Patriot, B1 Sly One, Sean Green, our own OG of the channel, Denise Clark Custom Art. Denise, you got to let us know if you do custom art because we love it. Right there, Hillsbury Wood Studio, right there, painted that for us, custom of Trump. Show Denise Clark some love in the chat. Said, makes you wonder about us elderly people that had the series of shots we received. Some may have medical issues developed from those. 100%. And I believe that RFK will get to the bottom of it. Show Denise Clark some love in the chat, as well as Philip Petcho. Show Philip some love in the chat, member of the channel. And thank you so much, Anna Barnes, for your support. Show Anna some love in the chat. Said, thank you for all you do. God bless you, Anna, Philip. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody. We're growing this family. We're growing our giving, and it's all because of you. We love and appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. You know we're busting our butt every day to give you the best show, and it means the world to us that you support us. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.